Hi, I'm Astrologer Penny Dix, but you know that's why you're here. Well, what can I say? What about this energy, eh? Whoa, this is going to be one big month of enormous change, revisiting certain things, certain areas of our lives individually. It's going to be revisiting situations on the world stage that are unresolved. Things are going to get kind of ramped up, wound up. We may find ourselves getting wound up. And what we have to do with all of this energy is really stay in the present. Because if we are in the present, we actually have a modicum of control, if you get my meaning. So hello from California, hello from Canada, hello, hello, hello. It's so lovely to see all of you here. As you know, I just love doing these. Maria, hello, you're in the Algarve, fantastic, welcome. And well, today is the 1st of September. What can I say? This is the overview for the month of September. And the details will be addressed every day, really, with an Astro Bite. And I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying doing them. And I can tell from your comments that you are also enjoying them, which is fantastic, which is great. Thank you. We are creating something that is helpful, beneficial, thought-provoking. So, well, we know what today is. Today is Sunday, the 1st of September. Uranus, our planet of change, of shocks, of the unexpected, of sudden events of freedom, freedom of speech, rebellion, breaking through, breaking out, breaking down, turns retrograde in Taurus. And it turns retrograde at roughly 27 degrees and 15 minutes. Hi, Eri V. Good to see you here. It's so lovely to see all of you here. You've all made it. Fantastic. And this today is very important because not only does Uranus go retrograde in Taurus, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about this, but also Pluto, our planet of transformation, that rules Scorpio, that rules the 8th house, finally retrogrades back for the last time into Capricorn. And it will stay at the 29th degree until it goes direct in October, and then finally into Aquarius on the 19th of November for the next 20 years. I cannot tell you what extraordinary times we are living through. I'm sure you know this, not just by listening to us astrologers and other astrologers like myself who will be talking about these extraordinary energies that we're experiencing, but we're going into some more extraordinary energy as we go into September. It's almost as if this is the year that keeps on giving. And if you thought this year gives, wait till we get to 2025. And then we will really see. Laurie, why is November the 19th your new favorite date? Is it your birthday? Or is it that you can't wait for Pluto to move back into Aquarius? So November the 20th is your birthday, Nick. Happy birthday for them. Hi, Lorraine from Ireland. Good to see you here. Pluto, goodbye forever. But you know what? It's really interesting with Pluto. So as Pluto is coming up, let me just have a little look at the chart for when Pluto actually moves back into Capricorn, because I think it's really important that we understand the power of this transit and how it can affect all of us. Because when one of these outer planets, which is called a generational planet, so it affects certain generations in similar ways because of the placement we will have in our natal chart. So, for instance, if you're born in the 1950s, then you have Pluto in Leo. And do you see what I mean? So if you were born in the 60s and the 70s, then Pluto is in Virgo into Libra kind of thing. So this is, so Pluto, Andy, I'm just seeing what you're saying. Oh, I love that, Chris. Bugger off Pluto. You're a Cappy. Listen, I know some Cappies who are really, really struggling, but there is good news. This is it. This is when you finally address the issues that Pluto has brought to the surface. Remember, it rules Scorpio. It goes down to the depths of that murky, muddy pond, and it drags out all the sediment, all the stuff that needs to be addressed, that we need to address in our lives, whether this transit is particularly significant in our natal chart or not. It is significant in many ways for all of us and certainly for the collective. So when it goes down back into the muddy pond to bring up the sludge from the bottom, it's to find the alchemical gold. Because once you individually find the alchemical gold in your heart, in your soul, in the depth of your being, you can then embrace the transformation that Pluto will give you. Let me explain. So a lot more of you joining me here, and I've missed Pluto. Andy, I just wanted to see what you said. Capricorn, Pluto will be conjunct your Sun and Mars. Well, I think we know what that's about, and I'm not going to talk about it publicly, Andy. But, you know, we have messaged privately, and I know exactly what's that about. Listen, this is when you get the result, you get the solution. So remember this, guys, by the time Pluto goes direct in October and moves back into Aquarius mid-November, you get what I always see with these outer planets as the gift of the particular planet that is finally leaving you alone, assuming you've done the work. The psychological work on an inner level that the planet has been imploring you to do. Remember, Pluto is also about going within. It's about the psyche, the soul. It's about going down into these hidden depths to really, really look at yourself, to look, I have a mirror here, to look at yourself directly in the mirror, to really look and think, who am I? Have I changed? Have I actually used this Pluto energy in a positive, constructive way? Capricorn, constructive behavior, and you know, it's ruled by Saturn, so it's about construction and structure and rules. Pluto's not into all of that. It wants to wipe it all away, break down all the doors, break down all the rules, and bring in the transformation that can come, that it so wants to give you when you complete the cycle of events that have unfolded for you whilst Pluto has been going through Capricorn last year. It's venture into Aquarius this year to give you a glimpse through an open door of what is to come. But what is to come? And what is the gift of Pluto? Let's have a think about this, because hi, Simi, good to see you. And lovely Mary, good to see you. Thank you. You love the Astrobites. Me too. I love doing them. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Listen, let me talk about this chart, because the moment Pluto moves back into Capricorn, in the event chart, which is for universal time, that way it kind of covers the whole planet. What we have, hi Shirley, what we have is Pluto, interestingly, in Capricorn, in the 8th house, which of course, natally or by zodiac sign is the Scorpio house, and it rules the 8th house. So it's in the house it rules in the event chart. And it starts off this transit by sextiling, a sextile, which is an incredibly helpful, positive, and happy transit. Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Let's just hold this energy for a minute. And I am spending time on these energies because really they set the scene for what is going to unfold for the whole of September. I can see what you're saying, Anne. You're saying Pluto is squaring your natal sun in Libra. Don't worry about it. Wonderful. My God, just say, bring it on. Bring it on, Pluto. Let's get this job done and this show on the road. Squares are good. Squares push us to grow. Squares push us to change. Don't think, oh my God, I've got a square, it's awful. No, squares are positive because you're being given something by the universe that you can work with. If it's all trines and sextiles, it's like we're skipping through the poppy fields and we may come out the other end and have had a lovely time, but not have actually learnt much. So, yeah, let's get the party started. Absolutely. So Pluto is sextiling Neptune. And what is going to be happening over the next few months is then Neptune in turn is sextiling Uranus, now retrograde in Taurus. And Uranus and Pluto are making a trine. So we have a kind of mini little trine configuration. It's not a grand trine or a great kind of sort of earth trine or something like that, because you've got earth, water, and you've got 2 earth and 1 water. So, the water is trying to get into those parts of the earthy areas of Taurus and Capricorn to feed, to water, to nurture the seeds that we've been sowing over the last 18 years. Have a serious think about that. This transit of Pluto has been going on for 18 years. When it moves into Aquarius, it's going to be there for 20 years. And I sincerely hope I'm around for when it goes into Pisces. Who knows? We do not know. And I want to also talk about the event chart because it's interesting. Uranus that has gone retrograde in Taurus. And remember, Taurus is about the earth. It's also about finance and the economy. It's in the 12th house. Do not be surprised if tomorrow morning, for any of you that follow markets, market behavior, finance, economy, and I believe actually it's a holiday in America tomorrow. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. But the markets could open a little bit on a negative kind of stance, because Uranus retrograde is taking us back to see what we can gain from this, what we have learnt. If you have planets, personal planets like your sun, your moon, in fixed signs or earth signs like Uranus, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Leo, around 23 to 29 degrees, you have Uranus conjunct your sun or your moon, and it's giving you an opportunity now with its retrograde to see if you can work with this energy in a more constructive way. It's given you that glimpse of what you can have. It's showing you that it's hard work and you've got to put your heart and soul into it. But with the sort of passions you are looking at and working with your career or passion or hobby or whatever it is that you want to get out there to humanity, Uranus is saying also, come on, let's go for it. Let's do it. Because I'm off into Gemini next year. I'm going to pop back into Taurus, but just to make sure you've got it all sorted, but I'm going into Gemini. And Gemini is an air sign. So I'm going to be much more comfortable there. And my goodness, am I going to be busy when I'm in Gemini. So Uranus is trining Pluto. And this shows us that the scene is set at the beginning of the month for enormous transformational change. And it's like the seeds are being sown this month. Now remember, with seeds, if we plant them in a seed tray or in a pot, and we then cover them with earth, give them a little bit of moisture, a little bit of water, a bit of sunlight, keep them out of drafts. Don't keep looking to see if they're growing, because they won't. So if there are seeds that you need to sow or have been sowing in the last few months and want to continue to sow in the month of September, be patient, have faith, and trust the divine's got your back and knows what it's doing, and it's going to sort out the details of that which you are so concerned about. So I'm just having a little check on the chat, but it's going so fast, I'm not sure I can keep up with it. Hi, Parry, I see you're here. Fantastic, welcome. And let's just continue to look at this a minute, because also in the event chart today, Uranus is squaring the moon at 28 degrees of Leo. It moves into Virgo tomorrow, but at the moment it's squaring 28 degrees the moon. The moon in what we call mundane astrology. This is mundane astrology. It's not natal astrology. We're looking at how it affects the collective. So the moon represents the people in general. And so Uranus also, remember, rules Aquarius. Aquarius is about the community at large. There is something here that is bubbling away underneath the surface in the collective that is saying enough. And, you know, if we think on the world stage of the hotspots that we've got on the planet, and I'm going to include the United States in this because of the hot politics and the election coming maybe in November. I've noticed a lot of astrologers have been talking about the fact that it may not even happen. And I have to be honest here and say I haven't actually researched yet the astrology of that date, and I will. But I have respect for the astrologers that are saying that election may get delayed for whatever reason. Now, we have to remember that this Uranus is going to bring some disruption to the economy and the stock markets, because what goes up must come down. And it's all been quite buoyant in the last few months and most of this year. But what's interesting, and it's nothing to panic about, but as we head towards the end of the year, I know that sounds ridiculous on the 1st of September, brokers and financiers have to balance their books, quite simply. That will be determined by the politics, but also by the market prices. Now, interestingly, there is, I listened yesterday to an amazing podcast video. Let me see if I can just find it and tell you about it, because it was just awesome. And it was on, you might have heard of Astrology Hub, and I think her name is Amanda Walsh. And she talks about, and I'm just trying to find if it's here, the one that I looked at, but Astrology Hub, where are you? Astrology Hub, because it's really worth listening to. First of all, I thought, oh, it's all about money, it's going to be boring. No, it's not. It is absolutely super exciting. I'm just going to search for it, because you have to watch this. You have to watch this. This is between Astrology Hub. Sorry, my loves, I'm getting waylaid. Right. Okay, this is between a financial astrologer whose name is Raymond Merriman. He was actually the founder of evolutionary astrology, and the lady that runs Astrology Hub, I think her name is Amanda Walsh, but I highly recommend it. Subscribe to Astrology Hub. They have great videos and podcasts. And this one about how 2025 and 2026 are going to be pivotal years in changing basically the whole way humanity takes care of itself. And it's all about cycles and, in a sense, analytics and statistics. And it fits in and works with astrology. It is astounding. What I will do is I will put a link, when I finish the live, I will put a link to this video in the comment section, and I'll pin it to the top so you can have a look at it, because it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And so going back to, swiftly going back to my notes, which I've now lost, as you can see, I've spent nearly half an hour talking about the 1st of September, because it's so important. So I'm just having a look. Okay, right. So let's now move on, because the whole of September is busy. Let's move on to September the 2nd, 3rd, because on the 2nd, 3rd, depending where you are on the planet, we have the new moon in Virgo. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, please check out my new moon in-depth video on my channel, and like, subscribe, share it. That would be absolutely super great, super helpful. And this is a very interesting new moon, because the new moon is actually opposite retrograde Saturn in Pisces. And so there are restrictions on this Virgo new moon. I'm not going to talk about it too much here because then you won't go and watch my video about the new moon. So I better put that in the chat as well, hadn't I? And it's an interesting new moon. It's full of potential. I think if you've been waiting for some kind of breakthrough or news to come to do with something that you are really, really urgently waiting to hear about, that's the name, Andy, Ray Merriman. He was the founder of evolutionary astrology. I looked up for his original book and it's out of print, which is a shame. It was written in the 70s and about 1976. Great shame. But and then he moved into this financial astrology. So coming back to the new moon, it does have restrictions, but I think there's also going to be, because of the Uranus retrograde in Taurus trine to Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, some potential for breakthroughs. So because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, it would imply that if there have been delays in particular news, information that you have been waiting for, then the new moon energy should shift things a bit, especially with that Uranus in Taurus trining Pluto in Capricorn. And we do have also Mars in Gemini squaring retrograde Neptune in Pisces. And that is quite a tough energy because there is going to be confusing communications coming out. So the news that you might get around the new moon may not be as clear as you would like it to be. And the Virgo new moon is going to see you insisting to understand the details of everything. Because remember, Virgo wants to know exactly how it is and where it is. So really, really, really kind of pay attention to that. And I know you're having loads of interesting chats in the live chat, and I can't keep up with it. So I'm just going to soldier on. And Parry's having a conversation, and I know the writing, the beautiful words that Parry uses are just soothing, beautiful, and what life is all about. Let's move on to the 4th, because Venus, our planet of relationship in Libra, no, sorry, yes, no, yes, is, no, it's not, it's in, hold on, Venus is now, Venus should have moved into Libra. I'm just, yeah, Venus is in Libra. Yes, I've written it down wrong. Venus is conjunct Lilith in Virgo in Libra. Oh my God. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. My brain has ceased functioning at this time of evening. So anyway, Venus is conjunct Lilith in Libra. Libra is about relationship and balance and harmony. If there has been anything that has been being left unsaid with respect or regard to relationship, Lilith is like the shadow side, maybe of you, saying, listen, let's just cut the crap. Can we just get down to basics? Can we just cut through all of this? Say it how it is. Say it how it really is. Because both these cosmic points, Venus and Lilith, are also conjunct the South Node. So there is something going on relationship-wise. This can be families, business, close one-to-one partnerships, friendships, that requires honesty, This is shadow work. This is honesty needed. This is stop the niceties. Let's get to the truth. Because if this friendship stroke relationship stroke family relationship is going to progress in a positive way, their opposite, remember, the North Node in Aries, then it has to break. You have to break through the barriers that are kind of being highlighted by Lilith, dark moon Lilith. Lilith, Adam's first wife. She was not subservient. She would not lie underneath him. This is why he got so angry and threw her out of the Garden of Eden and took Eve as his wife, who was quite happy to subjugate herself to Adam and lay beneath him. Until she had a bite of a certain apple. And when she had a bite of the apple of the tree of knowledge, well, we know what happened then. They fell from grace. There is something about September's energy which is almost like the sun is going to move into Libra this month at the autumn equinox. It's really going to highlight relationship. Please make sure by then that things are kind of sort of smoothed out, clear, precise. Use Virgo's energy to get the clarity and the wisdom that you need to go forward. Knowledge is power, see me. Knowledge is very much power. Also on the 4th of September, Mars, our planet of fiery energy, assertion, activity, the physical body. It can represent knives, swords. It can represent anger, aggression, war. It moves into Cancer. Now, Mars is going to be in Cancer for quite some time because Mars has a retrograde in, I think it's in the end of the year, and it goes retrograde. So it will go into Leo, it'll go through Cancer, go into Leo, and then it will retrograde back into Cancer. What you need to understand is what the energy of Mars in Cancer brings up for us, because Cancer is about nurturing of the family, nurturing of the soul within, of taking care of giving yourself love, self-love, self-confidence, self-belief. The sun, the moon, the sun rules Leo, where Mars will move into. The sun is our heart and soul, the center of our galaxy, of our solar system. It's not the center of the galaxy, actually, it's the center of our solar system. And, Mars in Cancer is going to bring up issues around taking care of us, of our physicality, of being nurturing to the body, of feeding ourselves the right nutrients and foods, of being proactive with people, of addressing situations within family life that have got stuck, tense, difficult, locked, blocked. Mars can help you have the confidence and assertive abilities to fight through that stuff, that crap. So Mars is going to spend quite a long time in Cancer. And nearer the time of its retrograde, I will do a separate video. But for now, just know that it's going to be there. You just have to pay attention to your soul. Right, moving on, moving swiftly on. Now September the 8th. This is a big day. The Sun in Virgo is in opposition to retrograde Saturn in Pisces. Now, let's just think about this. As I said, the Sun is our heart and soul. Saturn is all about restriction, boundaries, rules, structure, commitment, also endings. It's retrograde in Pisces. Pisces has no boundaries. Pisces, my oceans of emotions. I haven't done that for a while. And it's in opposition. Oh, September the 8th. That's going to be quite tense energy. Actually, I think that's next Sunday when I do my live week ahead. So that'll be interesting to talk about. And what we're going to have to do, I think, is be very mindful of how we use this constructive opposition and the Virgo energy to put some structure into that which is not yet given form. The ideas, the imagination, anything that comes under the heading of Pisces, imagination, psychic abilities, intuition. So it's about really, really being aware of that. The other energy around the same time is Mercury in Leo. Mercury, our planet of communication, squares Uranus in Taurus. Now, this will see some fighting talk coming out. There could be a breakthrough in certain situations on the world stage. It could have an effect on the financial markets or the stock markets. So it could actually be quite positive, because remember, I say squares are good. Squares push us. Squares make us grow. So on the 9th of September, Mercury enters Virgo. So it's nearly out of its shadow from when it went retrograde. And by the 12th, the Sun in Virgo squares Jupiter, our planet of expansion, luck and opportunity, in Gemini. Gemini, remember, is about communication. And, you know, the week from next Sunday is actually going to be quite an interesting week. I think the news is going to be really buzzing with information. And Mercury in Virgo is going to be sextiling Mars in Cancer. So there's a lot going on the week after next. I mean, the images I'm receiving are basically based around the Middle East, as if there is really a huge push to try and bring some kind of resolution, solution, deal to stop the killing. Why is it? This is just a rhetorical question. Why is it we are still so backward on this planet that we think killing people and children is a good thing or a helpful thing to solve situations? It's like, wake up. This is going to be Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius, helped by Uranus in Taurus, is going to be saying, please wake up. Look at the collective. Find higher frequencies to work from and tune in and bring in the energies needed to bring about much more inventive ways to solve the problems that people have between countries, around border issues, so that we stop all of this. Because I think I've said this before, but it's like I have this image of humanity going along like this. And then once Pluto fully moves into Aquarius, we go like that. And part of humanity follows Pluto into Aquarius and is able to tune into this higher frequency and work hard, even if there's only one of us doing it at a time, to raise our personal vibration and consciousness, to bring about the solutions to difficulties in the world, on the planet, in much more loving and kinder ways. Then there's going to be part of humanity that goes this way. And I'm not saying anything bad happens to them. It's just, I think they will find it very difficult to link up with the energy that is following the Pluto in Aquarius. Maybe eventually a bit further on, they'll catch up, or some will gradually cross over and join this other line, this other timeline going forward. And I'm not just talking about floaty, new agey stuff. It's not that at all. It's not the spiritual kind of community in that sense, with no disrespect to the spiritual community. This is about the collective at large. And this is actually much more scientific. And yet it's actually marrying science with spirit. This is what Carl Jung, the Swiss analyst, talked about in the 1900s, about the sacred wedding, where you bring the marriage of heaven and earth together so that the procreation of humanity becomes far more sacred, so that we see everybody's life as sacred. Because at the moment, in so many parts of the world, there is no respect for human life or animal life or plant life. And if that doesn't change, it doesn't bear thinking about. Planet Earth will step in and bring about some major event that'll force us or push us into recognizing that we have to change. We have to start respecting each other. Where did respect go? Look at that. It's 20 to 7 my time, and I'm still only on the 9th of September. I'm going to kind of move on a bit. So, okay, so let's move on a bit, because this Uranus Aquarius energy, Uranus in Taurus, Aquarius energy, Pluto in Aquarius, it is revolutionary, and it is about power to the people and power of the people. But this is peace. This is peaceful rebellion. Because if we go in all guns blazing, we're just going back 200 years again. Or actually not that long ago, about 100 years ago, to the First World War. So we can't have that. So we are going to have now, for quite a while, this kind of minor trine between Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. You've got two sextiles. You've got Neptune in Pisces, a sextile down to Uranus, and a sextile down to Pluto, and then a trine from Uranus to Pluto. This is going to be supporting everything I'm talking about. This energy is really going to lift our energies, our frequencies, to support the continuation of humanity in a positive way, with love and respect. This is like the energy we had in the 60s, when that was almost, the flower power revolution. It's as if we're reaching that kind of nadir again, where we have to make a choice. We have to make a choice whether we go with Pluto into Aquarius or we stick with the old traditional ways of looking at life. Well, I know what I want to do, and I want to go where Pluto's going. On the 18th of September, we have a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and a lunar eclipse, it's a partial lunar eclipse, it's not a total lunar eclipse, which means the moon is conjunct the North Node, and it's opposite the sun in Virgo, and this lunar eclipse is conjunct Neptune. This is going to awaken a very strong spiritual connection and high consciousness frequency. Really is. I'm not going to go into depth about the lunar eclipse because, of course, I will be doing a separate video for that, and that'll be up on my YouTube channel in about 10 days' time. 22nd of September, we have the autumn equinox. It's a little bit later this year. So this is when officially we could say summer ends and we move into autumn in the northern hemisphere. And for all you lovely people down in the southern hemisphere, you get spring. How cool is that? Well, hopefully not that cool. Hopefully it'll be warming up. And the sun, of course, will enter the sign of Libra. On the 23rd of September, Venus, our planet of relationship, love, of self-worth, of material possessions and luxury, enters Scorpio. So it's in what is called its fall in Scorpio, because it's opposite the other sign it rules, which is Taurus. And later on, of course, it will be in opposition to retrograde Uranus, but we're not there yet. So Venus will be in Scorpio. And so it will be, in a way, assisting Pluto's dive down into the deep depths of the murky pond to find that alchemical gold. By the 26th, Mercury enters Libra. So a lot of busy, fun and inventive talk all around to do with connecting, relationships. And by the 30th, the sun is conjunct Mercury in Libra, bringing some kind of resolution and solution. So that, in a nutshell, in like almost 50 minutes, thank you for your patience in being here, is the energies of September. And as you can see, it is really very much action-packed. But don't go yet, because we have the word of the month. Now, I've come up with what I think is quite an interesting word, considering what I've been talking about: respect, not killing each other, actually finding the light of the soul in the other, seeing that everybody has a shadow, and sometimes that shadow is much more apparent than other people's or your own shadow, and to somehow find a way to accommodate it and work with it. But the word is forgiveness. What do you have to forgive? And I'm talking about in yourself. You know, we have to forgive ourselves for all the time we've procrastinated, for all the times we've let opportunities pass us by. That is why astrology is such a wonderful tool for all of us to know, because it gives us a handle on the energies so that we can look at perhaps why we're feeling lack of motivation and feeling as if we're just procrastinating, and think, oh, okay, I've got this hard square from, I don't know, Mercury to Mars or something in my natal chart. Then I need to work with that energy. I need to break through it. I need to work with some of the other energies in my chart to find a way to actually move myself beyond the procrastination. And forgiveness is also obviously about forgiving others. Now, I know this is a really difficult thing if we get into some pretty dark subjects around the hot spots of the world: war, death, and destruction. And I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole because it's too painful. Because I think humanity still has to grow a bit more to get to the point where we can forgive the enemy. We can forgive the killer. I know personally, I would find that very hard. I'm just being honest, because I'm human, I'm not perfect. But I can see ultimately what we need to strive for if humanity is going to develop and grow and move beyond all of this. So there's a quote here from Mahatma Gandhi, which goes, "The weak can never forgive." I guess I'm weak. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. And that is so true. And our weakness is what will prevent us getting into that energy of forgiveness of people that commit the most appalling atrocities. And, you know, that I've got a whole load of quotes here, which I will give you a few of, and it might be just for you to ponder upon and think about how this affects you and how you might proceed forward through the month of September. There's a quote here by a lady. I don't know most of these people. I'm obviously not very well read, but this is Hannah Arendt, Arendt. Forgiveness is the key to action and freedom, which is also a very interesting thought. And this one I particularly love. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Isn't that beautiful? That's Mark Twain. And the last quote I'm going to give you is by Bernard Meltzer. And it's, when you forgive, you don't change the past, but you can change the future. And actually, that's probably the best of all these quotes for talking about the fact that for probably all of us to get to the point where we can forgive a tyrant or a mass murderer or whatever, a suicide bomber, is that we have to recognize that the forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it raises our vibration and frequency so that collectively we can change the future. And that shows strength of mind and strength of character. And those are qualities that are so hard to find. And finally, because I'm always doing a finally, Reinhold Niebuhr says forgiveness is the final form of love. Well, that's probably a good note to kind of end on, if I get us actually before the hour of this live stream. And let me just have a quick peruse through your live chat. And I will go back and read it later. And Penny, you're absolutely incredible and very generous with your heart and your continued support for all of us in this process of creating a new energetic understanding of forgiveness. Parry, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sincerely, I want to thank all of you that give me the motivation to continue doing the daily Astro Bites. And if anyone here is new, every day I put out what I call an Astro Bite, which is about a 12 to 14 minute look at the daily general astrology, followed by a word of the day and a quote of the day. And, you know, the support you are all giving me and my channel in the chat and the comments on the videos I put out is all the encouragement I need and all the motivation I need. I just will keep doing this until I can't do it anymore. And let me see. Hi, Tracy from Los Angeles. Oh, you are so welcome. And there's a lot of talk going on, the deep inner transformation. And listen, guys, please take care. Enjoy the month of September. Enjoy this incredible time that you're alive on planet Earth. We are so blessed to be here now. We chose at a soul level to incarnate at the right time to enjoy the energies we're enjoying now, to enjoy the enormous changes that humanity can go through as Pluto moves through Aquarius. The transformation that can take place is extraordinary. Extraordinary. Just like all of you. You are awesome and extraordinary human beings. You're a wonderful soul fam. And hi from Australia. Purple State of Mind. Love your name. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to the new subscribers. Check out the Astro Bites. There's another new one that'll be up tomorrow morning. And let's just, as Winston Churchill said, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but he said, keep going on, which actually the word was Buggering. Keep on. That's what we have to do. We just have to keep doing it. Keep moving forward. Because you know what? We're not going that way. We're going that way. I'll be back next Sunday for the live week ahead. Thank you all for joining me. I love you loads. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye, guys.